How you doing, everybody? This is Mike the Plumber, and want to do a little bike check. So bear with me. This will be my first, and gonna do a brief check on each one of my bikes in my collection. And as you see, it's quite a collection. And well, we'll start with the big one. It's a Big Ripper. It's mostly stock. I bought it for cruising and not so aggressive riding. You can see I got some clipless pedals on there. I can get a little more speed. I've been commuting to work on it here and there, and roughly I don't know, 6-8 mile commute, somewhere around there. Mostly stock, like I say, except for the grips. I love the ODI Vans grips. Just a super comfortable grip, and they do their job nicely. They're also lock-on, so I always like that feature. And got like a knockoff SPD pedal that I use when I'm running clipless. Otherwise, I'll usually go with a platform. I prefer platform over anything. And that's my Big Ripper 29-inch BMX style bike. Looks aggressive, but I just kind of cruise around on it. It's a fantastic wheelie bike. And next is my other 29er with gears. A lot of upgrades to come on this bike, and I have a lot of upgrades in it. I bought the bike basically for the frame. The frame is aluminum, and it's a stiff frame. Got some good geometry, and lots of tire clearance. And speaking of tires, I upgraded to a foldable WTB Nano tire, and I gotta say, one of the best upgrades I've done to this bike thus far is the wheels. It's not the most expensive set of wheels, but what an improvement! Super stiff, super lightweight, and actually not too bad of a freewheel sound. I'm one of those guys who likes the sound of a freewheel or cassette. The newest arrival in my collection is the PK Ripper Fat Ripper BMX bike. There's a lot of knockoffs, single speed BMX style bikes, and I gotta say it's worth it just to shell out some more money and get the better bike. SE Racing is really a great brand, and it's very, very dear to my heart. I've been a fan of SE Racing products, or SE Bikes products, ever since I got into BMX, to be quite honest with you. This one here is mostly stock. I haven't had a chance to really do too much to it. All I can say is it's a little heavy and a little bouncy, but that's to be expected with the large tires. Anybody out there fitting larger than a 3.5 wide tire on this Fat Ripper, let me know. I want to see what I can get away with, and hopefully shed a little bit of weight at the same time if I could go to a foldable tire. And like I say, this one's mostly stock and an impressive sounding freewheel or cassette sound. I just, again, being a dork, I like the freewheel sound or cassette sound. And this one here is my dirt jumper baby. I just literally changed it back to rigid fork this afternoon. I was running a Marzuki Bomber fork on it, but I upped the gearing in the front to a 28 tooth, and it came stock with a 25. The tires are upgraded to a foldable, more of an off-road dirt tire, whereas before it came with almost like a street or a park tire. I went with the Specialized S-Works carbon fiber bars, the downhill version of the bars, ODI Vans lock-on grips. One of the best upgrades I've done to this bike is the SRAM guide brakes. Amazing brakes. It really, I can't say enough about the SRAM brakes. I'm so impressed that I'm actually thinking about adding them to the Fat Ripper, and I just absolutely love them. I got a titanium spindle pedal, and a very sharp one at that. I have caught this in the shin, and it really sucks, I gotta say, but that's just part of riding aggressively, I guess. And here's a 24-inch. It's more of like a park or street bike, and mostly stock, other than I took a seat off one of my other bikes and threw it on this one. Just it's a stationary pivotal. It actually doesn't pivot anymore, and it's mostly stock, other than my ODI Vans grips. This bike, for some reason, likes to hurt me because I crash on this bike more than any bike out there. It's heavy, 48 spoke wheel, which I'm thankful for because of the crashing. But this bike, I don't know, it just doesn't like me, and well, I like it even more. Another 24-inch. This is more of a track or a racing bike. It's the SE Floval Flyer, and it is just about all stock, other than I was playing around with some fake carbon fiber decal or wrap and just did a couple of parts on the bike just to see. But this bike's got a lot of upgrades in store for it. I'm going to be changing out to carbon fork, little nicer wheels, and a couple of the other racing upgrades. But been very happy with the bike. Haven't ridden it too much, but it is very fast. And my 20-inch, this is a park or street bike, and a lot of upgrades. The only thing that's stock on this bike is the frame and the stem, and it's a Haro 300.2 frame, and the upgrades include Colony Wasp rear cassette wheel and Pintour front, all in jet fuel or rainbow. Snafu Mayweather cranks and jet fuel. Got the Hyper Maniac bars, absolutely love them, and I thought they would weigh just about the same as the stock, but they are actually lighter. And also with the Snafu Magical Fork, big shout out to Harry Main. Love that guy. He's got an amazing riding style, and he just seems like a really cool guy. And when I seen the forks on one of his bikes, I had to have them, and it seems to go well with the blue. They're color changing, so depending on the angle. And went with a gold KMC chain. And last but not least, the cherry on the top of the cake. I gotta say, this is a very special bike to me. I built it from the frame up, and it's basically a tribute to an old friend of mine named, well, we call him Jim Daddy, and he always wanted a PK Ripper, and he wanted to build it up himself to his specifications, and well, that's what I did here. And starting with the PK Ripper frame and the XL Elite, went with Profile Elite hubs, the most wicked cassette sound ever. Titanium driver, titanium hardware on the box brakes, titanium spokes with alloy nipples, carbon fork, box bars and stem in the it's a lot fatter at the clamping point, and box carbon echelon seat. This one here is strictly I just pull it out and sit on it bike, and I did ride it to work one day, which was probably the most frightening ride ever, because I ride through areas where people like to throw glass on the ground, and got a lot of money wrapped up into this one. One of my favorite parts of the bike is the race face carbon cranks. Unbelievable. When I got them in the box, I thought it was a joke because it felt like there was literally nothing in the box. Unbelievably light, and super strong, super stiff. This bike is very stiff and very light. It feels very fragile and weak, like it's gonna snap if you start pedaling really hard, but all it does is just pick up and go. I'm a shorter fella at 5'6", and you know, the frame is a little long for me, but I gotta say I'm glad I got the longer frame because the front end tends to stay down a little bit better. I'm very excited to get it out on a track, and well, if I'm lucky, I'll bring some trophies home. And again, my name is Mike the Plumber, and this is my bike collection. Thank you very much.